After having its paw bitten, the Brachiosaurus throws the little animal away and it ends up dying. A few minutes later, the wounded dinosaur shows the same symptoms as the creature that bit it, and after drinking water, begins to expel blood without stopping. The animal then runs amok and destroys the eggs from the other mother's nests, until a family member decides to stop it. At that moment, the poor Brachiosaurus gets his neck bitten off and dies immediately. The zombie creature then attacks all the members of his group until none of them are alive. A few days later, Spear and Fang arrive on the scene and are paralyzed when they are confronted with that scene of terror. While walking there, they are surprised by the zombie dinosaur, which gets up and starts chasing them. The pair tries to escape through the forest, but the animal continues after them, destroying every tree in its path. During their escape, they end up falling into a canyon and must hide in a hole in the rocks to get rid of the creature. After a few attempts to eliminate his target, the monster finally gives up and falls to the ground. Scared and exhausted after the chase, the two friends end up falling asleep and Spear has a nightmare in which he and Fang begin to melt after being bitten by the zombie. In the middle of the night, when they wake up, the duo plans to sneak out and slowly descend the mountain so as not to make any noise. However, they are caught by the Brachiosaurus, which resumes its hunt. At the end of the canyon, the creature eventually gets stuck and can no longer reach them. However, it is not long before its prey discovers that they have ended up on top of a volcano. After being hit by lava splashes, they return slowly so that the ground doesn't start cracking. However, their strategy is interrupted when the infected animal manages to get through the rocks and invades the volcano, causing a pool of lava to form. The two friends then take advantage of the sinking Brachiosaurus to get out of that place and run back to the canyon. Before leaving, they watch as the monster is consumed by fire and its body is turned to ashes. Weeks have passed since that big scare and the adventures continue in the lives of the duo. This time, they spot a greenish flame coming from the forest and decide to go there to see what it is. As Spear approaches the scene, he is shocked to see a man being burned in these flames. On his body are several symbols drawn, and around him are several mysterious creatures that look totally sinister. The man cries out in pain as the creatures summon some macabre entity. Suddenly, a mysterious being approaches, along with a pterodactyl, and as it enters the flames, its body takes the form of a demonic figure. Then a spirit in the form of a snake invades the man's body and all the marks unite, giving birth to a new snake that comes out of its interior directly into the demon's body. At the end of the process, all that is left of the poor man is an empty shell and the spirit creature becomes pregnant, giving birth to a human child. The baby is handed over to one of the entities, who takes care of him as if he were her own child. Just then, the pterodactyl spots Spear and Fang and begins to scream. Their master then orders his servants to capture the spies, and the pair try to escape through the forest. However, the creatures find them and, surprisingly, possess the ability to vanish into thin air. When they find Fang, the dinosaur ends up being bewitched and helps to capture Spear. The next morning, he is tied to the sacrificial stone and realizes that if nothing is done, he will meet the same fate as the man from the night before. At that moment, one of the entities appears, and upon hearing his friend's screams, the T-Rex begins to break free of the spell. However, the witch manages to control it again and soon realizes that this animal has a strong bond with the human. Therefore, the creature decides to visit Fang's past and discovers that she and Spear met the day the poor mother lost her young. Next, the witch breaks into the caveman's past and visits the time when he lost his entire family. When faced with this extreme pain, the sorceress is saddened and leaves. When she arrives at her tent, she decides to revisit her own past, for the story of the two friends reminds her of the day she lost the child she raised as her own. Later, the witch returns with green paint in hand and uses it to drop on Spear's body. When evening comes, the creatures gather again to witness the birth of a new baby. However, just as the ceremony was about to begin, the witch attacks the pterodactyl, arousing the demon's fury. She then sends Fang to free Spear and the demon turns into a wild wolf whose mission is to stop T-Rex. In order to help the pair escape, the sorceress transforms into a bird and distracts the entity while the two friends flee through the forest. Fang is still under the witch's spell when she leads Spear away, however. The spell comes to an end the moment the old woman is captured and devoured by the wolf. In that instant, Spear realizes what has happened and laments the death of the witch who helped him escape alive. But at least now, on the spiritual plane, she can reunite with her dead daughter. While walking through the forest, a saber-toothed tiger is surprised by an unknown creature, which quickly